Hey, beautiful people, how you all doing? Thank you all and welcome back to Birth Your Vision podcast live. And I'm your host, Hannah Kupuli. It's a real pleasure to have you here today. I'm the founder of the All Women's Network organization that actually supports women to help them to get connected and build partnerships and collaborations. And I'm also very passionate about helping female entrepreneurs who struggle due to self-doubt as well as lack of confidence. And what I do is to actually help them to turn their skills into a profitable business and help them to discover their dreams and also to birth their visions. And so, today I have a very special guest, and that's the beautiful Lola. She'll be joining me very shortly. And I just wanted to let you know all about this wonderful podcast. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome to Birth Your Vision podcast live. And the aim is to actually provide support and also to help women in business, aspiring female entrepreneurs, to help them get inspiration, advice, support, and also tips on starting and growing their business. So every week I will be here with a fantastic female founder or, a CEO who have actually turned an amazing skill into a profitable business. And today I'm going to be having another amazing guest who is actually a career coach. And she's going to be telling us all about soft skills and how you can actually use holistic development to help you with your career success. And so just before we invite our wonderful guest to join us, and I just wanted to share with you my 1 minute of motivation. And that is to actually get yourself into the way of planning for 2021. And what I want to say to you is to actually focus on yourself and also on your business, and also to evaluate some of the ideas that you actually want to work on. Take one idea at a time, work on it and get support. Some of the things that you offer, you may not be able to do it yourself. So it's so important that you also get support in terms of outsourcing if the workload is actually too much. And also learn to celebrate your success and also enjoy the process of really being a business person. So this is just the 1 minute of motivation that I wanted to share with you today. So make sure that you plan to succeed, and 2021 will be an amazing year for each and every one of us. And so today I am so honored to welcome Lola. She will be here joining us within the next few minutes. And I just want to tell you about my guest before she comes in. So Lola is a certified ICF Career Coach who specialises in helping young professionals to navigate their career in those crucial formative and developmental stages by using a variety of career strategies, frameworks, and also helping them to really utilise crucial soft skills. Lola's career coaching services strive to equip entry and rising talented individuals from 0 to 7 years of corporate experience to realize their full potential and also remove self-imposed or societal perceived limitations and own their career trajectory. Lola founded Solomon Consultancy in 2017 after a successful 20-year senior business manager and training management career within the banking sector. She's worked in the Merrill Lynch, Zenith Bank in Nigeria, JP Morgan, HSBC, ABN, and many more. So today she's joining me and she's going to be talking all about career coaching and how she's able to empower young people as well as other people as well. So welcome, Lola. Hey, beautiful. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Hannah. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
You are so welcome. Thank you, Lola. Thanks for coming on today. It's a real pleasure to have you. And just saying hello to all my wonderful guests who are joining us today. Welcome to you all. Today I have Lola with me. She is a wonderful career coach, certified, and she's going to be sharing quite a lot of nuggets and tips with us today. So if you have any young people who are looking to navigate and also look into different careers, she'll be able to answer your questions. So I want you to leave your questions in the comment section below and your thoughts and your ideas, and let's get this conversation going. So Lola, how are you and how have you been?
I'm fine. I've been just recuperating from the holidays where I took time just to reflect and rest. And I'm back on the horse and looking forward to 2021.
Fantastic. That sounds really awesome. How was your Christmas with the children and the family?
It was good. What I try to do now, I've been doing this for the past 3 years, is
Yeah,
taking the focus away from just receiving, and it's more about giving and getting back
giving.
to the true essence of Christmas and spending time with loved ones and just enjoying being as opposed to
Mm.
having to rush around and do stuff. So it was nice. We enjoyed ourselves.
Oh, that sounds really awesome. Fantastic. So I've got some guests coming on. Hello to Marie all the way from Paris. Thank you for joining us today. So leave your comment and your questions in the section below and we'll be able to answer it for you later. And so Lola, you are a career coach and you've got so many years of experience in your field. And I just wanted to know how your journey actually started. If you can just take us through that journey of how you
Yeah.
actually started and you embark on the career coaching.
Okay, so like you rightly said, my background is in senior business management in investment banking. And whilst I was there, I was privileged to be a mentor to those who are on the graduate program or young apprentices. And what I discovered during that time was, a lot of these apprentices or graduates on the graduate program would enter into the corporate space being academically brilliant, but they didn't have all the skills required to really thrive in the corporate world. So they knew all the theory, but when they had to translate that to practice, they struggled. And what would happen is their confidence would then take a nosedive because they were being told, no, you don't do it like this, you do it like that. And, why can't you do this? And you had all these bright, ambitious graduates joining. And eventually, after being told a few times, they were doing it wrong, their confidence was it was plummeting. And that wasn't nice to see because they were so enthusiastic when they started and you saw them almost crumble within themselves. So I started delivering brown bag sessions, which is where we all gather during our lunchtime and I share soft skills tips and career development tips with them. And because of the work I was doing with them, a lot of their managers were saying, Lola, you've literally turned Joe around. What did you do? I said, I've just been supporting them. So I started mentoring and supporting young graduates and young people who had entered into the workforce on a regular basis to the point where it was taking I was doing more of that than my actual day job. So
Right.
after that, I thought, actually, I think there's a market here. I think there's definitely a need because graduates get support in how to land the job. But then the career coaching and the support seems to tail off once they've got their chosen employment. So I thought, well, they need that just to ensure their trajectory goes up and they feel supported.
Mm.
So in 2017, I was blessed with redundancy and I took that as a catalyst to really just pivot and embark on this journey full time. So I founded Solomon Consultancy and started delivering career coaching and soft skills training.
Amazing. That sounds really awesome. So from what you've said, you've actually basically just went in and you started just using your skills, really, helping other young people to become more confident, those graduates, and helping them to navigate, a lot better. And obviously you were noticed for doing such a great job. And now you've actually turned that, into a business of your own,
Yeah.
which is what this podcast is all about,
Mhm.
using skills and turning them into a business, monetizing it, which is really amazing. And that is how you were able to actually birth your business, which is the Solomon Consultancy. So tell us about Solomon Consultancy. What services do you actually offer?
When I started offering soft skills training, and that was mostly to graduates. So I would go into universities and
Mm.
deliver training to their graduates, so their undergraduates and also postgraduates. Um, and then I was approached by a secondary school, saying they want to introduce leadership training to their year 10s because they're going to become prefects. And I was like, oh, I don't really go into schools. But I thought, hold on, this is the perfect time to introduce soft skills to young adults, okay? Because I'm all about learning and development. And in secondary school, from my own experience, and we have two boys who are currently in secondary school, I know this aspect is not really focused upon. So when you finish secondary school or you go to college, you go to university, you are not introduced to soft skills at any particular point in that journey. So I started delivering soft skills to students at school, and then also delivering them to university students, both undergraduate and postgraduates, and introducing them to the world of what soft skills is about, but more importantly, why they need it and the benefits they gain from utilizing it. And if you think about it, the earlier you're introduced to something, the quicker, the more time you have to develop it and practice it. So if you're introduced to soft skills in secondary school, by the time you enter into the workforce, you're almost, you've got experience of utilizing the soft skills. So it's not a foreign concept to you. You actually land very confident. You know what it is to be a leader. You understand what it is to be a team player. You understand negotiating skills. So all of these wonderful things you've been practicing for probably about 4 or 5 years before you land your first job, which is the perfect scenario. So I started doing that. And then I was getting more requests for career coaching. So I then expanded into career coaching offerings, specifically looking at, like you said, the young professionals. So anyone between who has 0 to 7 years work experience. That is my niche market. That's who I love working with, because that's when they're so enthusiastic. And because I've actually seen what happens when they're not supported, I want to ensure as many young people as possible are equipped and have that self-belief in themselves to really both realize and achieve their full potential in their career. So that's when I embarked upon career coaching, which I absolutely love. And I actually went, despite my practical experience, I actually went to go and get an ICF certification, so I can back my practice with theoretical studies as well.
Fantastic. That sounds really awesome. I love the journey, especially, working with young people as well as adults as well. Tell us how important it is for us to help our young people identify, soft skills in order to help them prepare for their future career. How important is that?
It is crucial. It's not even important. It is crucial. It's a must. It is an absolute must. And the reason being is academics is great. We all know we need academics. But one of my key phrases that I use is people by people. So you need to have something that makes you stand out. And I call that your unique sprinkle power. We're all individuals, but we've all been blessed with unique elements within us. And that ties into your value proposition. And being able to identify that and communicate that, it takes you to another level. So, when you go into the world of work, everyone has a CV. You may have the same qualifications as the next person, but what extra do you have that's going to make me pick you? And these are the things that we examine when we look at soft skills: how to identify your value proposition, how to communicate it, how to build up your resilience. We all know, it's a hard life sometimes. Yeah. It's not all the time you're going to get a yes. You're going to get a no. That's okay. And sometimes if you're not taught or you haven't experienced what it is to have resilience, you haven't built that into your skills resource bank, it may stop you in your tracks. Now, I say when you know, it's literally next opportunity. It's not a full stop. And what happens is Does that mean okay? And what happens sometimes is that what happens is you can put a full stop where you're just supposed to put a comma. I'm just going to put my earphones in.
Yeah.
That's better. So what happens is that you put a full stop or you're supposed to put a comma because you haven't got resilience built into your system, into your development plan. So that's why it's so important to introduce soft skills to the young from a very early stage, because when they go forward in their career planning, they have a wider resource bank in how to develop and move forward. So that's why I feel it's absolutely vital to introduce it to them from an early age, and also to explain to them and let them experience the benefits of utilization.
Absolutely, indeed. Because I have some young people in my household as well. And one of the things I actually teach them is about confidence. Because I believe that once you have confidence, you're able to do so much things. And there isn't that barrier that kinds of makes you feel, incompetent. You feel so good within yourself. You believe in your abilities and you're able to just deliver. And even if you struggle in certain aspects of being confident, you can always sort of work on yourself. But I think confidence is key, and also being resilient, just like what you've just said as well, which is really, really important. And I feel like it's so valuable for young people to really understand those soft skills. It's so important, just like you've just mentioned as well, which is really great. Tell us about in terms of how you get the graduates ready for let's say you're going to deliver a soft skill training. How do you get them ready for their future career, really?
Okay, so when I engage with them even before they graduate. So I look at them and think, right, if you're in year 1 or year 2, who's in your network? I introduce things such as networking. What are the benefits of networking? How to identify your value proposition and to convey it. I ask them, how often, where are they being visible? Where are they showing up? Because when you're a student, you're like, you're living a student life, you're doing this. You are not supposed to be a professional student. What is your end goal? So I use a phrase from Stephen Covey, and it starts with the end in mind. So where do you want to end up after graduation? So if you want to be an accountant, where are you showing up whilst you're studying? Are you showing up in accounting networks? Are you going to accounting events? Are you on LinkedIn? Have you connected with LinkedIn groups about accountancy? Because if you're saying, well, I'm a student, I'm living my student life, I'm in a student union, that's not your end goal. And you're thinking about the present and you're not planning for the future. And like you said, when you're doing the introduction, how are you planning for 2021? So for me, from the time you enter university, how are you planning for what you're going to do when you graduate? It shouldn't be that you graduate, right, I need to start networking. You start networking from day one. You build up your network. For example, internships. How many internships have you done? Where have you applied? That you build your network, and literally as soon as you step foot, who are you a brand ambassador for? And these are the things that I introduce them in year 1. So, I don't wait till, okay, you're in year 3 now, let's talk about your graduation, what you're going to do when you graduate. Think about that in year 1. So you've already started thinking with the end in mind. What is your end goal? I'm not waiting for you to finish to cross the finish line before you start thinking what you're going to do. And that's why even when I do career planning, I do it in 5-year blocks.
Right.
Because it's not just about the present, it's about where you want to go in the future. Because if you're not planning for it now, the future is just around the corner. And what happens when you don't plan? The people, the classification I use are career nomads. They get the job and they're just like, oh, well, I'm here now, I'm doing good in my job. I'm doing well in my job, I'm doing a good job. You're paid to do a good job.
Yeah.
What do you want to do to move up? What do you want to do to move the dial in your career? And that's what I start looking at. So for graduates, it's the same thing. I look at where you are when you start. As soon as you set foot at university, what is your end goal? Because if you don't know and you're not planning, then why are you in university in the first place?
Absolutely. You know what? I love listening to you because everything is just resonating. And because I know quite a lot of young people and they would actually kind of benefit from this podcast, because it's like you're working with them and you're really like breaking it down. You've got to keep the end goal in mind. You're really working with them from the beginning, seeing them through till the end, giving them a good 5-year, 3-year plan for them to understand where they're starting from and where they're heading to. So this is really good. For those of you who are just joining me today, thank you so much for coming on. My wonderful guest Lola, she's a certified ICF career coach, and she specializes in helping, young people in terms of supporting them professionally to help them to navigate their career, which is a very crucial time in their life. So I want you to leave your comments and your questions, because Lola's here to actually help you and help you to answer those questions that you have. And so, Lola, tell us about, the holistic self-development skills and how you're able to use that within your business and your services to help, young people.
So yeah, holistic development, it looks at obviously your career, it looks at your soft skills. I look at your leadership potential. Where do you want to be as a leader? And people think, oh, a leader, I haven't got a team, or I don't think I'm going to get a team. You have to lead yourself first. So it's also about that continuous self-development that you have to incorporate into your journey. Because people think, well, I just want to get to, point B, and then they stop. It's like I said, I do 5-year chunks, but even before you get to the end of the 5-year, you've already started the next 5-year cycle. There should be at no point in your career whereby you haven't got a plan in place. Because what happens is that you then become stagnant and you stop. So you have to ensure you've always got that plan going ahead of you. So holistic planning incorporates your soft skills, it incorporates your career plan and your career development. So people have a career plan. I want to be a VP in the next 5 years. Great. What you don't look at is what you need to do to ensure that you have the right skills to fulfill that goal. So what do you need to be a VP? If it's business analysis skills, is it leadership skills, is it team building skills? So once you have a goal, you have to look at the whole concept. What is required in order for you to achieve that goal? Writing goals down are great, but you then have to take it a step back and say, how am I going to achieve it? If you don't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to run a marathon, you start doing your 0 to 5K, your 10K. You build yourself up, and it's the same with holistic development. You have to look at yourself as a holistic entity. So you look at from a career perspective, you look at from a development perspective, the soft skills that you require. So it's very much looking at everything, and it's also looking about your mental well-being as well. So sometimes I've had people that I'm doing career coaching with, and I've said to them, I don't think you're ready for career coaching. You have to work on some other aspects within yourself that I do not cover, because it has to be sustainable. And sometimes people don't look at it like that. They definitely go, I want to move my career, I do this. But when I meet people, when I assess them, I'm like, you have to pause. You have some other issues that you need to clarify and make a way for in order to move forward in your career. So holistic development looks at everything, looks at you as a holistic being.
Fantastic. I love that. So it's all about just looking at everything, your social, your psychological, everything all in one together, really. Fantastic. And this is the service that you actually offer, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Tell us more about those services that you offer so that our listeners can actually understand what you offer, what you can offer them.
So for the career coaching, I offer one-to-one career coaching, either as a one-off, or we do 3 sessions, so 3 months over a course of 3 months, or we do the 6 monthly plan over a course of 6 months. And what I say is that I meet my clients where they are and take them to where they want to be. And a lot of it is to do with self-solutionizing. So I don't want to tell you what to do all the time, because it has to be sustainable. I want you to get into the habit of questioning your thoughts, of coming up with concepts. So I support in that aspect. I also identify areas where I feel you genuinely do need to develop, and we work alongside that. And I just introduce new concepts, new career strategy concepts that my clients may not be aware of. And I walk them through them and how to progress within their career. So I do a lot of it on a one-to-one basis. But what I am doing in 2021 is introducing group career coaching.
Good.
So I have a cohort of 8 individuals who I work with, and I've actually developed a framework called the 3R, and it's about reflection, resolution, and recognition. So we work through, for example, reflection. Are you getting feedback? Because feedback is the gold dust that you need to actually develop. And some of us don't like getting feedback if it's not all positive and glowing. But that is the exact feedback that we need to move forward. Because people will tell you what it is you need to improve upon. And they may not always tell you in the most pleasant way, but take it, extract from it what you can to put it within a development plan. Because that's what's going to help you move forward in your career. So that's all about reflection. We then move on to resolution. And that's when we take the feedback and we dissect it. We also look at the impact rating. Because some feedback is not going to impact your career development. Some of it will definitely impact your career development. So we plan how we're going to map out a development plan that will help you progress. And then we look at recognition. So after you've done all the hard work, you want to get recognized, right? You want to put all this hard work into developing yourself and no one recognizes it. And that's what I call being an opportunity seeker. Wow. So sometimes we're quite content to just people think, can you do this? And you say, yes, I can do it. But we need to put ourselves out there and say, well, actually, I've just done a course on business analysis, so I can take this project. I can be the lead. I can be the lead in this project. So I would like to lead, please. Put yourself out there. You've done the work. You've invested in yourself. You need to get recognized for that. Yes. Because if you don't, no one's going to recognize it for you. So it's a lot about being an opportunity seeker. Move yourself outside of your comfort zone into your growth zone. Because in your comfort zone, nothing happens. Like I said, you stay stagnant. When you step outside of your comfort zone, you're in your growth zone. And that's where the firework happens. Because you are challenging yourself and you are growing. And people are noticing that. So the next time a project comes up where they need someone with business analysis skills, they will automatically pick you because you've already demonstrated those skills and you've been recognized for those skills. And it's a continuous loop for you to improve and develop in your career. So within the 3R framework that we work on, it's 8 individuals. You have there's 6 sessions that we all come together for an hour, but you also get 2 20-minute blockbuster sessions. And the blockbuster sessions is when you come up against a barrier in your job. You're like, I don't know what to do. This is really frustrating me. Go into my calendar, you book for 20 minutes, and we clear it, and you move on.
Fantastic.
So
I love it.
I'm launching that. I'm very excited about that.
Even I'm excited to hear it.
It's one of those things whereby I think sometimes when you're in the early stages of your career, you don't appreciate what it is to really support one another through a journey that you're all going through. And you learn from from someone else's experience. So you don't have to go through it yourself. It's a very sharing, supportive environment whereby you are supported and encouraged. And you've got accountability partners to ensure you do what you say you will do. So we all move along together and we celebrate, like you rightly said, I'm very big on celebrating successes. Yes. Every success, big or small, celebrate it. It makes you realize and recognize how far you have come from where you started.
Indeed, absolutely. I love everything that you've just mentioned there. There is so much things to look forward to. So for those of you who are thinking about getting extra support, in terms of your career, Lola's put together this amazing program which will actually empower you and help you. And she's going to kickstart this very soon in the new year. So, do get in touch. I'm going to leave Lola's details in the comment section. So do reach out to Lola or reach out to me. And, I could definitely get you connected with her. Yes, Lola. So tell us about, adults that come to you who have been in their career for 10, 15 years. What is their problems and what is the solutions that you offer them?
Some of them, and generally, like I said, I try and deal with those at the early stages, but I may sometimes someone has recommended me to another person, and we'll sit down, we'll have a clarity call. The most common thing that I get is frustration that they haven't moved forward in their career. They feel as though they should be a VP, a director by now, but they're just not moving forward. And I have to ask them, why do you think that is? Oh, I'm good at my job. You're paid to be good at your job. What have you done that demonstrates that you actually should move forward? And more importantly, have you communicated you want to be, you want to move forward, that you want that promotion, you want a bigger remit? Because sometimes we're under the conception that it's the job of our manager to promote us. It's not. It's our job to give our managers viable reasons why we should be promoted, and to also communicate that we do want to move forward in our career. You have lots of people are just happy staying where they are. The manager is not psychic. You have to communicate that you want that promotion. And also, are you doing the work? Are you putting the work in to actually be promoted? It's not, you can't say because you've been in the role for 5 years, I should be promoted. What have you done to develop yourself? They have to see that you actually want it, and more importantly, they need to recognize you're going to bring extra value if you do get that promotion, if they do increase your level. But they're not just going to do it automatically because you've been in a job for 10 years. So it's really taking them back to that concept of, you want to be promoted. What skills do you have that you feel you qualify for that promotion?
Yes.
And what are you doing to increase your visibility in your organization? Because if you're not doing nothing, then guess what? You're going to stay where you are.
Right.
So it's about putting a proactive, should I say, that's the word. It's putting together a proactive plan together, whereby we identify where they want to be, and we also identify all the work they need to do in order to get there. And it is in that particular scenario, it's time to work your sleeves and get to work. I don't hold back. I lay it down on the line and we work through it together. So that's one of the most common things that I see with people who have been in a role for like 10, 15 years. It's a frustration that they haven't actually moved forward. But then what comes from it after our discussions is the realization that they haven't actually put all the work in that is required in order for them to move forward. And that's what we do together. We then develop their development plan, everything that they need to do in order to get to where they want to be.
Fantastic. So when do you think someone should actually get in touch with a career coach in their career? When do you think? Should they do it before they start, or maybe in the middle somewhere where they feel stuck?
I would say as soon as you start a role. Yeah. Because you want to start strong.
Yes.
So if you have a career coach, when you start strong, and what you've done is that you've also incorporated some habits into your career trajectory planning. So you don't even get to that point, like you said, when they feel stuck, because you've introduced those self-development habits, those career planning habits from the get-go. So if you have that, there should not be a time where you do feel literally stuck. You may want to pivot, and you may need support in order to know how to pivot, but you will be aware of where you are, as opposed to, like I said, either your career nomad or you're just frustrated. So I would say, as soon as you start, get a career coach on board. And it's not something I would say you need to have throughout the length of your career, but like touch points. You touch in. I need more. I need extra support. Can you help support me? This is where I am. This is where I need to get to. But I would say start strong and have a career coach from the get-go.
Absolutely, indeed.
It's also about building a framework around you as well. So I would call it your MSN, your mentor, sponsor, and your networking. So when you have such a framework around you, you're already in the bubble of development. So you know who to reach out to and how to actually move forward. You've got the right network in place to help support your career trajectory. So all throughout, you have the right people. There's little touch points. Oh, I need to call so and so. I need to get in touch with so and so. I don't think it should be an alien concept, and it shouldn't be a concept where people feel, oh, I need a career coach because I'm failing at my career. Not at all. Not at all. It's because you're ambitious and you want to be proactive in ensuring your career does move forward. It's why most people engage with career coaching.
What would you say to those who have sort of like a bit of struggle in terms of really getting to the next level in their career? So, for example, they want to become a manager, and there is that kind of barrier. Maybe they feel like they've been overlooked by their boss, and they're doing all these things that you've mentioned. Going for all this training and personally developing themselves, but still they've been overlooked, and other people have been looked at, and they've got that position, and they are still in the same position. What advice would you give that kind of person?
The advice I generally give is get direct feedback from your manager. Understand why this is happening, and be specific. Yeah, like it says, be specific with your request. So when you arrange that meeting, hi Leah, I just want to find out, I went for the promotion, I didn't get it. Can you give me some specific feedback as to one, why I didn't get it, and two, what I need to do in order to be promoted? Make a list and track your progress. So as you're ticking off, well, you need to do this, you've got to tick it off. Feed that back to your manager. Don't wait for hot mid-year reviews, end-of-year reviews. If by the end of completing everything that has been stated, you have not been promoted, guess what? You have options. Because you have invested in yourself. And maybe they're not recognizing your investment. Maybe it's a clash, a personality clash, which I know can happen. Broaden your horizons. Start looking elsewhere. And something that I always emphasize is don't feel you do not have options. Even in this year of all years that we're coming to the end of, some of my clients have found new roles. They've moved on. So you always have options. Never box yourself in. Like you said, believe in yourself. Once you develop yourself and you know that you've done everything that's required and you're still not making progress, start looking in the big wide world. There are more options out there with organizations that will value you and appreciate what you have done. And sometimes that's what you need to do. Because if you could be in a situation whereby maybe you've been at a company for some time and they still see you in a certain way. They still don't see you as a manager. But if you go to a new organization that you feel you could thrive in, because you've done your research and they have vacancies, they see you in a different light. So don't just feel that you're stuck in a rut, so that you can't leave an organization, you can't leave a team. You can look for roles internally within the organization, and that brings back to the point I made before about being an opportunity seeker. If what you want is not given to you on the plate, go and look for opportunities outside.
Fantastic. Awesome. So someone said, if you wanted to be a career coach, what's the first thing you need to do?
You need to have a passion to actually help develop other people. And you also need to get some experience underneath your belt, because, I can say I know what I'm doing because I have walked the talk. All my corporate career was was within banking, was within the banking world. So I've worked within the corporate space. I have mentored. I have delivered training. I've done certification. And also what I would say as well is identify your market. Career coach is such a broad term. I've got a niche market that I work with. Other people work with those who are returning back to work. So find where your passion is. My passion is with young people, which is why I've selected this particular niche. Get your theoretical information out of the way. But make sure you can support what you're teaching with certifications. Get some experience as well. And just like I said, make sure you have a passion for it. If you haven't got a passion for it, you're not going to last. You're not going to last.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. What advice would you actually give anyone watching us right now, and maybe they also want to kind of, start a new career, or maybe they need some support and advice with their career in terms of moving up the ladder? What advice would you give to anyone watching us right now?
I would say that, like, I start with the end in mind. So think very carefully about where you want to be. Yeah. And think as to why you want to be there as well, and what is required for you to get there. Because, like I said, you can easily say, I want to be a VP because it's a title. Why do you want to be a VP? What do you need to do to be a VP? You know, it's so important. I'm very big on planning. Planning is, it's one of the biggest things I'm very, very passionate about, because I think once you are planning, you're planning for success. And the other thing I would obviously call me, get in contact with me, and I love helping people along their journey. When someone achieves a career, when one of my clients achieves a career goal, I celebrate as hard as they do, because it is a lot of hard work, and I feel as though someone else has literally, it's like they've seen their potential and they're not holding back anymore. And that's one of the things that I strive to really help people to do, is both to realize their potential and then achieve it. It's like, don't hold back, believe in yourself, like to the nth degree. So you have to be your biggest cheerleader. I can't cheer for you if you're not cheering for yourself. If people would say to me, who's the best career coach that you know? Oh, it's me, without a doubt. It's me, hands down. Because if I'm not believing myself and I'm not cheering for myself, I can't put anyone else to. And even when I was working, I was exactly the same. And that's how Soluman came about. It's the two were solutions and manager together. My former boss said, if you've got an issue with anything, if you've got like a problem on a project or a program, go and talk to Lola. She is the solutions manager. Even if she doesn't know about it, she will research it and bam, she'll go away. Plan A, plan B, plan C. She will have them all lined out and she gets the one that works. So you have to believe in yourself, and that's the only way that people will believe in you.
Yes, absolutely. I do agree. And you've mentioned one of my greatest, amazing quotes, which is, you have to be your biggest cheerleader. Because if you don't cheer yourself on, nobody else will. You've got to believe that you are the best at what you do.
You also have to put the work in to ensure you are the best at what you do. So when I say to people, you have to be your biggest cheerleader, it's not about, like I said to a client recently, I'm not saying, you should say, oh yes, I'm the greatest surgeon alive and not know how to do anything. You put the work in. So I know the work that I put in whilst I was in my entrepreneur career, and now as a career coach, I know the work I put in. I know the hours I stay up to develop new programs. I know what I do to, do extra research for clients to help them move down their career. So I know the value. I know my value add. It is unparalleled.
Absolutely.
And even when you sign up to me, you always get more than what you bargained for. So once I know that, why would I not be my biggest cheerleader?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with what you're saying. Indeed, absolutely. I mean, we don't really need any validation from nobody. And I'm always telling that to many of the women in my network. Just believe in yourself and believe in your values and your abilities. You just go ahead and do what you need to do and just remain focused, and you'll be fine. And that's just what it is. And yes, thank you so much for actually adding to that as well. So to all our viewers, how can they actually reach you online, those who are watching us now? Because many of them, I'm sure, they may need your services now or in the future or in the upcoming year. So tell us, how can people actually reach you, Lola?
Perfect. So my website, which is www.solomonconsultancy.com. You can contact me there, where you have the ability to book a session, a free clarity session for 20 minutes. You can contact me via Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, which is at Solomon Consultancy. LinkedIn, I'm quite active on LinkedIn, so you can connect with me directly, and that's Lola Jide, my name, and also follow the company on LinkedIn, which is Solomon Consultancy.
Fantastic, awesome. So I'll be leaving all those links there anyway into the description bar so that people can actually reach out to you and get in touch with you. You know, Lola, we're going into 2021, and many people are very excited about it. And, you know, this year has definitely been a roller coaster for so many people. But even within this year, many people have actually achieved great things anyway. They've accomplished quite a lot in the storm. And as we're heading into 2021, there's lots of hopes and lots of beliefs that things will be fine, but nobody knows. Nobody knows, but we're very sort of optimistic that, you know, next year will be a great year. What sort of words of encouragement can you share with our viewers and our listeners to keep them feeling kind of motivated for the upcoming year?
I would say, like I said, you know, like this year, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's doom and gloom. And for me personally, the business, it has gone international. So I have career coaching clients in Ireland, in Ghana, Nigeria, the USA. Now, I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for this particular, you know, lockdown where we couldn't, you know, physically move. But for 2021, go in there with a plan. Don't hold back on what you want to achieve in 2021. If you start thinking of everything that you can't do, that's where your focus and that's where your attention is. But if you start thinking and writing down everything that you want to do and you start planning towards that, that's where you are planning. That's where your focus is. That's where your mind is. So I would say, don't dwell on the negative. Like you said, no one knows. We could wake up tomorrow being tier 16. No one knows. Does that mean you're going to buy a boiler suit and just, you know, stay at home? No. You still need to live, right? You still have breath in your lungs. If you have breath, you have hope. So I would say plan for what you want to achieve in 2021. Plan for it. If something happens whereby it can't come into fruition, you adjust your plan. It's very simple. But if you have no plan, then you think, oh my gosh, I can't do anything. Everything's going to be closed. That's what's going to happen to you. But if you're like, actually, in 2021, I want to do ABC, I want to do these courses, I want to manage a bigger project in my organization, that's where you're focusing. So plan for what you want. Don't put your focus and your mind for things you don't know will happen or not happen, because you do not control them. But what you can control are your plans.
Yes.
So why not plan for what you want as opposed to focus on things you don't want? Because I'm a big believer in where you put your mind, that's what's going to happen to you. So if you think, oh my gosh, it's going to be a terrible year, you know, COVID still hasn't cleared, this hasn't happened, that hasn't happened, you're already planning for failure in my books. But if you're saying, well, actually, 2021, I want to achieve A, B, C, this is how I'm going to do it, you're planning for your success.
Yes, absolutely.
I would just say, plan for what you want and make sure that's where your focus is. Attract that energy towards you. Yeah, don't focus on the things that you don't want to happen, because that's just negative. That's just negativity. Focus on what you want and plan for what you want. Like I said, I love planning. Planning's my thing. So plan for what you want and set those goals for yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lola. We've all heard it from our wonderful guest, Lola. It's all about planning for what you want. And I just wanted to just add to that, to give you some, you know, simple key success tools, which is just to, number one is to basically just decide exactly what you want and where you want to go, and also set deadlines and make a plan to make sure that you are able to get there. Number three is for you to actually take action on those plans and do something every single day to move you forward to your goals. And number four is about resolve in advance that you will not persist until you succeed, that you will never, ever give up. So don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your hopes and your visions. Keep striving to be the best. Make sure that you make a plan. Make sure that is actionable, and go ahead and just succeed and just achieve them. So I just want to say thank you to all our amazing viewers. Thank you to my wonderful guest for those amazing, wonderful tips and advice today on career coaching. So I'm sure many of you will definitely be keeping in touch with me as well as with Lola, my guest today. It's a real pleasure to have you all And I just want to wish you all the very best. Lola is actually my last 2020 podcast guest, and I'm super excited. And there's so many more to come in 2021. And I just want to use this opportunity and this platform to say thank you to everyone who has actually graced the Birth Your Vision podcast live. It's been an amazing journey. Started a year ago, and we are here today. Over 25 guests have been interviewed live on Facebook and YouTube. I couldn't have done it without your wonderful support and your encouragement. And there is more to come from me next year. And it's all about being bold, be intentional, and also just following your heart desire. So I want to say thank you so much to all our listeners and our viewers. Have a wonderful new year, and I will see you in the new year by God's grace. So take care. Thank you so much, Lola. It's a real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Hannah.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great evening. Stay blessed. See you in 2021. God bless you all.